Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good. Um, I am redoing a project in my house. I am tearing apart my ironing board cover, and I'm using an old quilt, and I'm going to make a new ironing board cover. So I thought maybe you might want to come along with me while keep me company while I work on this. This is my ironing board. Just regular old ironing board. It is stained and it is dirty. And it was given to me by somebody I don't like. So every time I look at it, it reminds me of them. That's a June over there. And underneath, you can see it's got this, that disgusting foam that when you touch it, it just falls apart into dust. And then underneath, it's just this, very metal wire cage. Pretty standard on ironing boards. So what I've done is, I did this last night. It had a string in it to pull it taut. And I went through last night and I undid that. And this morning, I'm going to iron that. And we are going to use this as our template. Extreme close up. So one of the things that bothers me about this ironing board cover is the fact that it's not long enough. There's only a very small seam gap, and it will come off. And it always feels like I'm doing more damage to it when I pull on it than I should be. So we're going to iron it. I'm not going to starch it. I'm just going to iron it. And then I'm going to pin it onto the old quilt. And then I'm going to go around it with my dressmaker's chalk. And I'm going to go probably an inch or more out from the original template and use that. So that what we get is actually a larger product, but it can be used with more sturdy materials in order to pull it closed and stuff like that. So this is the quilt, and as you can see, it is falling apart. It was made, I made it to fit my king size bed, and it never quite fit. And you can see where Mr. Henry tore holes in it, and the condition of the cotton and the other fabrics. Here it's not so bad, right? But over here it's just so much worse. That even if I spent time picking it apart and pulling out, pieces that I wanted to use, it would just not be a good waste. It would waste the material of what it is right now, which is still in a way usable, into something that was unusable. Sometimes ugly stuff is great for doing other things with. And let me show you something else. Isabella, she's so lovely. She came in just for a second. Say hi, Bella. Bella is a mountain cur, in case you've never seen one. She's very lovely. Okay, so what the idea is, and we've got a big rip right here too. Is probably gonna try to make two out of this, two covers. There's quite more down here by my feet. And there is one thing that I want to try to save. which is the original label that I had made for it. So yeah, it's 13 years, and it's survived in this house 13 years, and that's really, really good for anything that I've made. And you might be like, well, Elsa, aren't you really upset that the quilt got tore up and, all your hard work got, wasted? No, it covered babies. It's done exactly what it was supposed to do. It kept us warm. And, I braced the idea of impermanence, and that I knew when I made it, it would be puked on, spit on, tore, peed on, pooped on. And it was just going to be part of our life. you know, when you have this many animals and things get destroyed, you just can't get too attached to your stuff. And I loved it because there were so many pieces that were in that had different meanings to me. Some were from my wedding, some were from Jay's grandma, and other things. So it was really imbued with that sense, and this idea of using it as an ironing board cover, actually came from Jay's grandmother's mother's ironing board that we inherited when we got the property and got the house. And it was a wooden ironing board that was covered with an old quilt that was nailed onto it. And it was just a wooden ironing board that apparently you'd put like between two chairs. That was the old way to do it. And so I took the quilt off, and I kept the ironing board, and it's still in my laundry room. So this is kind of a reimagining of that. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll end up pretty good. Let's see. So I have turned the quilt upside down, and you can see it's dirty. It needs to be washed, and it'll get washed. And then here is our original ironing board cover. We're gonna press all this, and here is my iron, and we are gonna go ahead. We're gonna set it on 6 because I know this is a cotton backing, and that is what is required. Here is a number 6. Now, I've had this iron long enough that it doesn't steam anymore. Enter the old way. Yeah, there we go. When I was growing up, my mother had a 7-Up bottle with a little piece of metal that went right in here and plugged into the top. And she would turn it upside down and sprinkle it. And if I ever find one of those again in a good glass bottle, that's probably what I'll change to. But this one is nice. It's full of distilled water. And I can just hang it right there most of the time. And of course, can you put magical stuff into it? Absolutely. You can put a few drops of Florida water, or you can put holy water, or you can put, some oil, just a few drops of oil into it. It's not going to, well, unless you're dealing with like silk or something. Most of the time it's not going to mess anything up. So, but, and that's my phone stand over there. So, I love the smell of the iron when she starts heating up. I did tell Jay the other day I need to get a new iron because I need the one that automatically shuts off. So I'm getting that age where I'm getting forgetful. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray. Now this is going to be my worst corner right here. And I'm just going to let it set for a minute. And then you can look at Bella because she's a whole lot prettier than my ironing board. Bella just turned 7. I believe she just turned 7. She's a mountain cur, and her favorite thing is to run fast. And she's a Sagittarius. Her birthday is actually on Woofanot. Yep. Okay. So that is enough to let it sit. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to respray it. Now it's had a little time to set. Okay. Now obviously I cannot do this and hold this camera and talk to you at the same time. So I want to introduce a little camera buddy. The gnome over my shoulder is done by Maggie Mollissey, a local Shreveport artist. His name is Murray, and he is never in a hurry. So that is my daily reminder to not be in a hurry, which I always am. And that is a Mardi Gras tree, in case you have never seen one before. Well, it's kind of been de-Mardi Gras. Okay. And just hold this out. Oh yeah, that's coming out good. That's coming out really good. Yeah, it's getting a good press on it right there. And got a little string there. And it's getting good press, and I'm going to press this and come back. And, you know, good pressing is the foundation of good sewing. I firmly believe that. I absolutely believe that. So got it all ironed, and now I'm going to let it dry for just a little bit. I'm going to get it draped over the drawer and give that for a few minutes while I prepare some other stuff. Iron is off. That's good. Got everything ironed and fixing to get on the floor with all these tools. I saw a thing recently on the interwebs, and it said, if you're born in 19-something, don't get on the floor. He said, don't get on the floor to wrap those packages. I'm thinking, yeah, because you just might not get up. So I'm on the floor, and I'm going to work on this sewing project, and I'm going to try to make myself as comfortable as possible. Well, it did not come out where I thought it would be. We had to turn it around quite a few times. And this is how it's laid out right now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut away all this extra here, so that I'm just dealing with one large piece instead of one impossibly sized piece. So I'm down here on the ironing board, and I'm looking to see how much gap we have right here, because this is, you know, we got to be able to get through there with the... Well, look at that, about an inch. Slide that over. See what we're looking at. Yeah, a little less than an inch. That's good. So I'm going to transfer that measurement right after I get licked to death. June, I love you. Too much June. I've just been attacked by extreme puppy licks. 15 out of 10, do recommend. So I work mainly with inherited tools. Why? Because I'm poor. That's why. And if Grandma had it and it worked, then I mean, why go buy another one? So this is the seam gauge, which I have had most of my life. I have no idea where it came from. This came from Jay's grandmama's house. And this is my dressmaker's chalk. Don't laugh. So my dressmaker's chalk won't work anymore. So what I did find out, put a little bit of water in the bowl. And then if you dip the dressmaker's chalk into it, it will make a line. Why? Because it's basically clay. and it will wash out. Okay, so y'all help me think about this strategically. We got this much width, that a little less than an inch of a thin area of underneath the iron where this has got to go. So we're going to need to double that because we're going to have a seam allowance, and it's going to have a casement on it. And then again, you're going to have another piece that's going to fold under. So we're looking at about 2.5, 2.5. And I never sew real straight. Well, I'm not real straight anyways. And so probably going to add another 2.5 inches all the way around. But then you got to think about that it originally had width under there. So whatever you think you're going to use, and then minus what they already had. Good talk. Glad you came. It's a good talk. So I folded over some fabric, kind of looked at it there for a minute, and I am going to go with somewhere between 2 and 2.5 inches is what I'm going to add all the way around. So I'll see you when I get done with that. If I don't get attacked by the twins again. I have survived getting off the floor. And I have not been attacked by the twins again, so that is a good thing. June has a twin sister named Eloise, and they're fraternal. They're fraternal. They did come out of the same litter, but they're a little bit different. They are red Rottweilers, and they will turn 2 in April. And yeah, they love me. Sometimes I wish they loved me a little bit less, but oh well. You know. Okay. So what I did was I cut away the piece like I told you, and I now have it draped across the iron, and I am pinning it, and then I'm gonna put on the extra inches. That's what she said. Got my tools laid out here. Got marked here at 2 inches. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I can't look at the camera and look at it at the same time. So we're going to put that first mark right here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go around the piece and do this. And see y'all in a little bit. Well, I am done marking around my piece. And I was using my dressmaker chalk, and I got to thinking, I was like, this part is never going to be seen. And nobody is even going to know it's here. And this is not like, a real garment that I'm going to wear that, I don't want anybody to know it's there. That you would use the dressmaker chalk, especially like on a light colored fabric, which this is a light colored fabric. And that must have been where my brain went. So I broke out the old Sharpie, and the iron is not on, but it is holding it down. And I have wanted to show you where I'd marked, and I'm going to cut away the last bits of it now. So I've cut away the last bits, and now I'm going to unpin everything, and I'm going to remove the original. So I have taken the original off of the white side, and I have pinned it on what is ostensibly the wrong side of the fabric. Pin the two wrong sides together so that I don't have to look at that pattern anymore. It won't upset me anymore. So I've gone back and I've checked my seam, my distance here. It is 2.5 inches. And I think I'm going to leave this on because it's going to act as a guide for where I need to go. It's not hurting anything. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. So, yep. You see my sewing machine behind me. She's a 1969 Singer sewing machine. She's been rebuilt. Belonged to my mother when she was in high school. It was bought for my mother when she was in high school by my grandmother, and my grandmother would sew on it all the time when I was little. Um, and that's the machine I will be using. And I'm tired and I'm hungry, and it's okay to be hungry, even if you're big. And I am going to stop now. And when you're tired and you're working on a project, I encourage you to stop, because if I keep pushing through this, I'm going to make more mistakes, and then I'm going to have to come back and I'm going to have to fix it, and it would have been just easier for me to stop when I was tired. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to say bye for a little while. What has been condensed down to 15 or 20 minutes has taken me about 2.5 hours to do. So we'll see you in a little while. Be well until then.